Well, and you'll need to like buy a copy of Times Person of the Year 2023 magazine and make it the star, which will be like the size of the tree in this situation.
Like literally.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Like Literarily. Hopefully, you know us by now, but I'm Alysha.
I'm Alexis or Momo from Momo's Bookshelf.
I'm Riley from Riley Tries Hobbies.
And we've all got crisp audio now. It only took a couple episodes.
Who would have had us starting a podcast together on their 2023 bingo card?
Not me, but I also didn't have moving to Hawaii on my bingo card. So overall, 10 out of 10 year.
Oh,
But
no.
in all reality, we wanted to end 2023 on a pretty good note. So Riley and I, of course, dragged Alysha into a Christmas holiday episode because it happens to be Riley and I's favorite holiday. So in honor of that, Riley had us read A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens to kind of rope in an idea sent to us by one of our listeners, aka my aunt. Hi, Tita Glory. I know you're listening. And she wanted us to read some classic books. So not super, super classic, not super, super difficult, but, wanted to dip our toes in that pool. So Riley, if you want to take us off as the one who had at least a little bit of background in A Christmas Carol.
I can't believe you guys have not watched a Christmas Carol movie in any capacity before this. But for everybody who are like you two, A Christmas Carol might be a book that you read growing up or in middle school or high school or read with your families on Christmas Eve. I know that's a big tradition for people. But yeah, Alysha and Alexis somehow have never seen a movie or listened to like a story about this or read it. So we're going to go into like a little synopsis of this.
Wait, people read this book on Christmas Eve?
Yes, Alysha.
This took me like 2.5 to 3 hours to get through because I trudged.
Yes, like this is a thing.
Okay. Continue, please. I'd love to hear the synopsis.
So, if you need to help picture what a Scrooge is, it's Alysha. But anyway, A Christmas Carol was published in 1843 and is about a rich miser, Ebenezer Scrooge, who hates Christmas and all it entails. On Christmas Eve, the spirit of his deceased friend and firm partner, Marley, appears to warn him that 3 spirits will appear. Throughout the course of the night, 3 spirits appear and take Scrooge to see his poignant scenes from the past, joyful holiday celebrations in the present, and horrifying future events. In response, Scrooge changes his life to embody the holiday spirit all year round. So essentially, these 3 ghosts, plus his deceased friend, show up after an obviously miserable, cold, cranky, Christmas-hating guy. And Scrooge spends the day with them, ignoring people who were cheerful about the Christmas holiday, and they're here to give this guy some Christmas spirit. The book is overall only like 200 pages, but it holds a lot of good lessons and themes. Now, Alysha, from years of knowing you and living with you several of those years, I know how much you hate Christmas. So I'm very curious as to all your thoughts on this book.
Look, I don't hate Christmas. I enjoy Christmas from December 23rd through December 25th-ish. I do not want to be hearing Christmas music in November. I don't want to be seeing Christmas trees up next to my Halloween decorations in October, which happened in Target this year. So look.
Okay, Alysha. However, to be devil's advocate here, Alysha, you start decorating for Halloween in September, and I wasn't allowed to decorate for Christmas till December 5th.
Here comes the roommate beef.
Are an adequate fall decoration that just happened to play into Halloween as well.
I find this very hypocritical, but I'll allow you to go on.
Look, okay.
It's the roommate beef coming up for me.
No, I get it. I'm a little bit of a bah humbug, and I could be Scrooged through Riley's eyes. but I just didn't like the book. I already said I it took me a long time to read it. I read it in chunks over like a week and a half. I was on a plane for 26 hours during the week and a half I was trying to read this book and still didn't finish the book in one setting, which I feel like says something. It was a very slow read for me. And like I can get behind the message of the book. Riley was alluding to that there were some positive like themes, like you should be compassionate. You know, there's not so subtle tones that like our lives shouldn't be driven by capitalism, and I definitely support that message. But like as far as this story goes, it wasn't for me. So I should probably disclaim like I've never read it before. It's a children's book. I've never seen the movie. I've never seen the Muppets movie. Like I had no experience with this book except knowing that people say Scrooge is somebody who doesn't like Christmas and like vaguely knowing about going to the past, present, future. I don't have much to say here, to be honest. So I'll let the two that are going to be much more optimistic take the floor.
So I was kind of in the same boat. Like I only ever really heard of the book and heard of the movie. I think the most I really got kind of semi close to the concept of Scrooge is I think I had a couple cousins in a play through, I don't remember if it was like their church or something that did like a Scrooge adaptation, I guess. And I don't even think it was like 100% true to the original plot. But I don't honestly, like, I took honors English and like AP English in high school, and I think the regular English class read it, but we didn't for whatever reason. So this was my first time reading it. I still haven't seen a movie. According to Riley, I guess I have to watch the Muppets version of it this year on Disney. But pretty much same concepts. Like overall, biggest thing that I got was just don't lose yourself to like greed or despair or become so realistic that you lose this idea of like being empathetic or this idea of like living out a dream of some kind. And I feel like his responses to seeing poor people was basically like, damn, maybe they should just work harder. And let's be real here. We've heard a lot of that, especially us as millennials, for sure. And so, even though his statements and thoughts about overworking and being kind of just the reality of life is also relatable, I think that myself included in society, we just forget that sometimes your dreams can come true and that family is really important and being around like your friends and family and stuff. So overall, I just think that he needed the reality check, to say, safe to say, of just like don't lose your sense of like priorities and stuff. So will I ever read this book again? Probably not. But will I watch one of the movies? Like I said, probably. So what about you, Riley, now that you've actually read it slash listened to it?
Yeah, so I did end up listening to it. I listened to it with Hugh Grant as a narrator, and he did a really good job. But before I dive into that, like I really can't believe neither of you guys have ever like seen A Christmas Carol. Like my husband Michael didn't grow up celebrating Christmas and lived in not the United States for a good portion of his childhood, and he still owned a copy of Mickey Mouse's A Christmas Carol as a child. So I'm low-key judging. But anyway, yes, I listened to it. It was narrated by Hugh Grant. Every year my family watches like the Muppets Christmas Carol, and like Michael Caine's iconic in that movie. 10 out of 10 performance. So I was very familiar with the plot of the book. I've seen other adaptations of it. I think I've seen the play before too as a kid. So very familiar with the story. And overall, all those adaptations are very similar to what the book actually is. And also, if you are looking to listen to this audiobook, it's only about 2.5 hours long. So very pleasant. Nice thing to put on maybe while you're cooking Christmas dinner or Christmas Eve dinner, whatever you do. That Feast of the Seven Fishes for some of you takes a very long time to prepare. So highly recommend playing it in the background. Um, anyway, but I did end up really enjoying the book. I think in the narration of the audiobook, you pick up on a lot more of Charles Dickens's humor in the book. Like the narrator I found to be like its own character, because he would make comments on like what Scrooge or Marley or anybody else was doing, or Tiny Tim, and they were like funny. Like for example, like in A Muppet's Christmas Carol, not to like ruin this for anybody, so spoilers if you have never seen any of this. But at the end of the movie, Rizzo, who is like Charles Dickens for the movie, says, Tiny Tim, who did not die. I thought this was just like a funny Muppets thing. It's not. It's actually like a line from the book, and I thought it was hilarious. So overall, I really ended up enjoying this book. I really like the narration. I think listening to the audiobook is honestly the way to go, just because it is written in an older style. You'll pick up on more of that humor and more of the acting for it, I guess. But yeah, 10 out of 10 performance by Hugh Grant. Thank you, Hugh Grant, for doing that. Very cool. And, Merry Christmas. I'm very merry after reading it, listening to it. And so is Michael, because he had to listen to it too, because he was always in the car with me while I was playing it.
So I'm glad that we read it and that we discussed it. Shout out Riley. Really got to show what lessons, we got to learn alongside Scrooge. But we did say this was going to be, a fun little holiday episode. So speaking of all things cheerful on holiday spirit, what kind of books are you reading that are of the holiday kind? What kind of movies are you reading? All that good stuff.
Well, like, it's not a Christmas book, but I'm currently reading The Great Alone, which is about like surviving the Alaskan wilderness. So it's set in like a winter-like landscape.
It's snow. It counts.
Does not count. That's like saying Frozen is a Christmas movie.
For Alysha, it counts.
We don't make exceptions for that.
Well, in my personal opinion, I think Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is a holiday book. Nobody can change my mind. I'm now on Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which is not a holiday book, but I have been enjoying rereading Harry Potter for the first time in a long time. I think 2006 was when I read them last, so.
Alexis, I will give you The Sorcerer's Stone as a holiday book. That one counts.
It just feels like Christmas, and even the movie just feels like Christmas. And ABC Family, or whatever it is now, Freeform, they consider it a Christmas movie, because don't they play it during like the 25 days of December or Christmas or whatever the marathon is? Yeah. I'm counting it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like 1 through 3 is are Christmas movies, and then after that not as much, but 1 through 3 I could get behind that.
Yeah, they get dark after that.
Okay, I really did try to think of a Christmas book that I liked, and like I don't think I've actually consumed Christmas book content, so that was very difficult. The best I could come up with was the short novella from the Court of Thorn and Roses series. I don't even know what the name of the novella was, but the novella one, the fourth one, I thought it was really cute. It took all the main characters of ACOTAR and just like shoved them in a like normal winter holiday setting, and we got to just kind of like peek into their lives, and I thought it was cute and adorable, and I do believe that is a holiday book.
Alysha, yeah, I'll give you that one. That's a holiday book. I give it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that novella is now on my TBR since a couple days ago you had told me it's holiday themed-ish. So along with A Christmas Carol, I had read this book called The Santa Suit, which I picked up last year, like after the holidays from Target. And it was by Mary Kay Andrews. And literally the only reason why I picked it up was because on the back it said that she was like newly divorced, but she was moving from Atlanta to North Carolina. And I was like, oh, Atlanta, that's cool. And she ends up like buying this farmhouse and finds this old Santa suit in it. And in the pocket of the suit had this note that said like some stuff about this little girl wanting her dad to come back, because I guess it was written like during wartime. And she goes on this super big journey on like revamping the house and figuring out who it belonged to, the note. And there was like a cute little plot twist when who it belonged to. And it was basically a Hallmark movie in a book. What about you, Riley?
So surprisingly enough, I'm actually not a big seasonal or holiday reader at all. Like I don't do it for Halloween. I really don't do it for Christmas. But I am open to it. So if anybody has like, recommendations from our followers. But I did also enjoy the ACOTAR novella, the Frosted Starlight one. I thought that one was very merry. for lack of a better term. I know as a kid I enjoyed like the classics like The Grinch and all of the other reindeer, etc. But I am a big holiday movie person. Um, but before we jump into that, we'll get Alysha's out of the way. So Alysha, what do you like any holiday movies?
I'm not a big movie person, so the best I could come up with. So yeah, we'll get all the collective groans out of the way. The Hawkeye miniseries on Disney, 10 out of 10. It is my favorite screen holiday thing. Highly recommend. Christmas is integral to Hawkeye's storyline. So it's a Christmas film, series, miniseries, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna die on this hill. I'm not even gonna continue the conversation and entertain if you're gonna argue with that.
As a Marvel fan, I can definitely agree with that. So you got my vote in your corner, Alysha.
40.
No comment.
Kyle's also in your corner. Don't worry. 3-1.
In my defense, well, really the no comment is because I've never seen it, so I'm not gonna like
okay.
on it.
I'm taking that as 3 out of 3 then.
Definitely recommend if you ever wanted to decide that you wanted to watch a Marvel series. That one was actually pretty good. But I digress. Might not be super popular, but personally, Polar Express is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. I watch it every year around Thanksgiving to start off the season. I make spiked hot chocolate like my mom used to make when I was old enough to drink regular hot chocolate if I'm trying to throw it back to childhood. I also think I have like a sentimental memory to it because I was in choir in 4th and 5th grade in elementary school, and the principal that we had would join like our little group of kids that were in the choir and would sing the song from the end of Polar Express, and he was amazing. Even my parents who would like come to the Christmas recital to like see me, like they also associate that to my principal in elementary school. So, little side note. And I also watched the Princess Switch series with Vanessa Hudgens. That one was pretty good. I think it was on Netflix or something. The Lindsay Lohan one that came out last year, which was Falling for Christmas, about her going skiing, I think, and then she got like amnesia or something and forgot like who she was and that she had money. That one was pretty good. Recommend that one. And then Single All the Way was really good too. That was about how this guy's family was just like always getting on him about not having a significant other. So he asked his best friend to pretend to be his boyfriend, and then obviously, as you could probably guess, one of them ends up falling for the other, and then of course live happily ever after. Those are probably like the main ones that come to mind. So last but not least, that leaves Riley. What do you like to watch around this time of year?
Wait. If we're naming off shit Netflix rom-coms, I'm throwing Holiday into the mix. It may have under like probably like a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's a 10 out of 10 in my heart.
What is that?
Emma Roberts goes and makes a deal with a dude that they're gonna be each other's plus ones for every holiday.
Oh, I don't
And
think
they
I've seen
fall in
that
love.
one. I have to add that one to my list.
It's
It is
bad.
pretty good. It's like good bad. It's like so bad that it's good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I do enjoy that one. On the note of like Hallmarky Netflix like bad Christmas movies, the Christmas Calendar with Kat Graham on Netflix is also pretty good. I do enjoy that one. But moving on to like other stuff that isn't Netflixy, I always grew up watching the claymation movies every year with my family. They were always on like 25 Days of Christmas or whatever. My absolute favorite of that was A Year Without a Santa Claus. That's probably one of my favorite movies. We put that on the other night actually. But that's one with Heat Miser and Snow Miser, and they sing, and so cute. Also love Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And then one that just has a special place in my heart because when I went to school and when I went to Purdue, nobody had any idea what the heck I was talking about when I talked about Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey because it's just a strange claymation movie. But now I enjoy every year putting the poll on my Instagram of whether or not anybody knows what Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey is. historically people from like the tri-state area know more often than the Indiana people. But with that, Alexis, do you have any idea what Nestor Long-Eared Christmas Donkey is?
Nope. And I watched claymation movies. Like the Rudolph one was one of my favorite ones to watch when I was little. So I'm gonna Google it. As we do this, I'm gonna Google it right now. What is it called?
Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey. It's a trip. Alysha only knows what it is because I think I harass her every year about it. I may have made her watch it at college.
Oh my god, the picture that popped up was a jump scare. No, I don't know what that is.
It's a weird movie, but yeah, Nestor Long-Eared Christmas Donkey saves baby Jesus. He's a hero.
I love this one sentence overview of a gentle donkey mocked because of his long ears who finds meaning in life.
And saves baby Jesus. Nestor is a superhero.
That's hilarious. I actually just watched a couple days ago the new movie that came out with Eddie Murphy called Candy Cane Lane, and if you haven't watched that yet, that's actually really good. That was my last tidbit of holiday movie advice.
There's also one that came out last year with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. That was like a Scrooge adaptation. Let me see what it's called real quick. But that one was pretty good. It was very long. It was longer than it needed to be, but it was a musical, which was fun. Let's see, what is it called?
Okay, look at Riley bringing the episode full circle right here. Bam.
Planned. Spirited. It's on Disney Plus.
Before we conclude the episode today, I just am curious, how long have you had your Christmas tree up? Or, because Riley, we know you've been in the process of moving, how long would you normally have your Christmas tree up?
So, since we're in the hotel, we don't have one right now, so we're going to be in a hotel room at least until the new year with our PCS move. But normally we put it up around my birthday, and then we like do a thing with it like around my birthday time, which is always a lot of fun. So not too long, the beginning of December.
Which Riley's birthday was yesterday at time of recording, so happy birthday to Riley.
Woo, happy birthday.
29.
29?
Thanks, friends.
Speaking of 29, my Christmas tree has been up since Alexis's 29th birthday.
Ooh, 29?
Party. I asked Riley if she would like to put it out since she wouldn't be putting out her own tree. So we very anticlimactically took my Christmas tree down from storage, which was still decorated from last year. It's only like a foot tall, and I let her place it in my living room.
Aw, that was nice though.
It was very merry of Alysha. I was very proud of her.
So mine's definitely been up the earliest. I always play the song Mistletoe by Justin Bieber on November 1st. And then I always have drill the first weekend of November for whatever reason. So typically during that week or into the weekend, I put my tree up.
So thank you everybody for joining as we started this podcasting journey this year. We're so happy to have each and every one of you with us. Please, as always, feel free to share any feedback with our Instagram. And when we see you all in the new year, we'll talk about some of our favorite books.
Yay! Also, DM us to let us know if you know who or what Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey is. Also, have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2024.
Yes. Maybe reading about Scrooge sort of taught her something before she even knew it.
Her heart grew another size like the Grinch.